You know, if you still think the best way to build the next billion-dollar app is by memorizing Python, you're looking at the world through a rearview mirror. We have officially landed in the age of vibe coding, and it's a shift so massive, it's forcing us to ask a really tough question. Is the traditional developer role as we know it completely finished? Okay, so let's just get right into it. This isn't some far-off prediction. Right now, as we speak, this is the operational reality for a staggering 87% of Fortune 500 companies. It's not a trend that's coming, it's the dominant force that is completely changing how software gets made at the very highest levels of business.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. That slow, methodical, step-by-step process we all knew, it's gone. The massive wall that used to stand between having a great idea and creating a real working product has basically crumbled. Just a couple of years ago, code was the gatekeeper. Today, it's a commodity.
And see, this isn't just about a new tool that helps programmers work a little bit faster. No, this is a fundamental redefinition of who gets to build things in the first place. The focus has totally shifted from the how, the technical syntax and all that, to the what and the why. You don't have to be a master of machine language anymore. You just have to be an architect of great ideas.
So this new paradigm has a name, vibe coding. It really represents a massive cultural shift away from development that's led by these complex engineering specs to development that's now led purely by human intent.
So instead of writing out these precise line-by-line instructions, a creator just describes what they want in plain English. They communicate the function, sure, but also the feeling, the aesthetic, the style, the whole vibe of it. And AI then takes that high-level intent and does all the heavy lifting, translating it into actual working code.
And the speed of this change, it's been absolutely breathtaking. So get this. In February of 2025, AI researcher Andre Karpathy first coins the term. By March, it's trending everywhere, and almost half of all the new Y Combinator startups are building with it. Less than a year later, it's become the standard for the world's biggest companies. We have never, ever seen an adoption curve this steep in the history of tech. And the difference between the old and the new is it's night and day. In traditional programming, the developer is in the weeds, manually writing every single line. With vibe coding, the AI generates that code from a simple conversation. This totally changes the developer's role from a hands-on implementer to a high-level guide and, this is crucial, an auditor. It makes it unbelievably effective for getting new ideas off the ground at lightning speed. But, and this is a huge but, all of this incredible speed and accessibility comes with a really serious catch. The ability to build whole applications without ever looking at the code underneath, it sounds amazing, but it also opens the door to a massive hidden risk. So, is this new paradigm a miracle, or is it actually a minefield? Well, think of it this way. When you're building a house, you inspect the foundation, right? The wiring, the plumbing. So what happens in the digital world when you're letting people add floor after floor without ever checking the blueprints? What kind of dangers might be lurking down in that foundation? The answer is pretty sobering. Recent studies are showing that nearly half, 45%, of all AI-generated code contains security vulnerabilities. This isn't some hypothetical problem, it's a statistical reality. The very same tool that's giving us this incredible speed is also creating a huge hidden attack surface all across the digital world. And the dangers here are really specific and insidious. We're seeing insecure code that acts like a ticking time bomb, just sitting there waiting for someone to exploit it. We've got AIs that act as confident liars, producing totally flawed or vulnerable code, but with absolute authority. All of this leads to applications built on shaky foundations, and it creates this illusion of competence, where it feels easy to build something, but building it safely is actually incredibly difficult. So what does this all mean for the future? Is vibe coding a failure? No, not at all. In fact, this huge security risk is precisely why the role of the human expert is becoming more critical than ever before. The developer hasn't been replaced, they've been promoted. They've evolved from laying the bricks to architecting the entire skyscraper and making sure the whole thing is sound. And this really shows that evolution perfectly. The old role was all about the micro-level stuff. Implementation, syntax, lines of code. The new role, it's all about the macro. Big picture systems thinking, governance, and auditing the AI's work. Your value is no longer measured by how much code you can type, but by how well you can steer the strategy and make sure features are shipped securely. And that's the key difference right there. An amateur vibe codes,
But a professional practices disciplined vibe engineering. It's the difference between blindly accepting whatever the AI gives you and applying rigorous oversight, strategy, and expertise to the entire process. It's about using AI like an incredibly powerful junior developer, not as some infallible oracle.
So all of this brings us to the new, sustainable model for building software. It's a true partnership between human creativity and machine intelligence. This isn't about replacement. It's about collaboration and a really smart rebalancing of who does what. And the ideal split kind of looks like this. You let the AI handle the 80%, all the repetitive, boilerplate code, the basic scaffolding. And that frees up the human experts to focus on that critical 20%, the high-level strategy, the security auditing, and the final refinement that really makes a quality product.
You know, ultimately, this is the paradigm shift that we're all living through. For decades, we humans had to contort our logic just to fit the rigid syntax of machines. Now, for the first time in history, the machines have become flexible enough to understand our natural language, our intent, our vibe. And this democratization of creation, that's the most exciting part of this whole story. The technical hurdles that used to stop countless great ideas in their tracks are just dissolving. The only true limit left is the scope of our own imagination. So the question is no longer if you can build it, but simply, what will you build?
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.